Hey, it's Nate, and today I'm making my daughter a little knife. If you've got kids or your nieces and nephews, I'm sure you've seen this out in public. Anyway, so what this is, you can buy these kits of vegetables, and they're held together with Velcro, and it teaches the kids to cut the vegetables up. And they're simply held together with Velcro. So it's easy for them to cut it apart. Here's an onion, kind of a sickly onion, but as you can see, it's really easy. The issue that we have is if you look close at the edge, right there, it's a stress point on both sides from this. It's very weak. The nieces and nephews come over, they play with it, they bend it, so eventually that's going to break. So today we are going to make little knives. It's got a little bevel to it, only on one side. A Babinga handle with pins. And since I had extra wood, this is all from one piece of wood. Well, the maple is. I went ahead and made a second one. Isn't that beautiful? She is going to absolutely love that. And you can see the edge. I sanded it down. We're going to sand it down and make it all nice. You will need, of course, sandpaper, a belt sander, a jigsaw, and patience. Thanks. Enjoy the video. With a little plastic knife, and they're held together with Velcro or magnets. So we bought our daughter a set of this. What we found though is that right here where the knife connects, it is starting to be relieved under pressure. So eventually when she's using it to cut these vegetables, she's going to break it. So I've decided I'm going to make her a wooden one. I've got some scraps. I'm using a piece of maple flooring that I've cut down, and this will make two. So we're going to draw this on here, cut it out. I've got a couple pieces of scraps of other wood, Babinga, and I believe this is cherry that I'm going to use. Okay, so at this time what we're going to do is draw this on the template, or use it as a template, excuse me. At this point, it does not have to be perfect. You're going to have some overlap. That's not a problem. Roll that out. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so we've got those quickly drawn out. I'm going to cut these now with the jigsaw. Okay, I've got them cut out with the jigsaw, as you can see. Not perfect, that's okay. At this point, now we're gonna go to sanding. Okay, so I've got these cut out and sanded. I've got a slight bevel in there. There you go. A slight bevel on this one. That way it goes up just like a regular knife would. I drew these out. That'll fit one side, and then boom, the other side. Same thing here. And I'll flip it over. And I decided I'm gonna put some little brass pins in there since I had one. and hold it together like a real knife would. I had this extra quick hint of advice. This is brass welding rod. You can get a big container of it. I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15 pieces. It's already got the flux on it, so you'd have to soak it in water to get the flux off. But I went to the local hobby shop, and for one of these they wanted like $1.50, $2. It was $12 for the box of them. Okay, so what I did was, to make the outline a little darker, I laid it down. I had it in pencil. I laid it down and did it in Sharpie. I've got both of them done. I used a tiny drop of super glue on one side, and on the other held them together with a spring clamp. Did the same on that. You only need a tiny drop because you want these to come apart later. So we're going to sand them down now on the belt sander over here, and then we'll come back and apply them. And once we get them applied, then I'll drill the holes for the pins, the brass rod, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I sanded them down. I got them close, and I decided instead of using the Titebond wood glue, I already had the super glue out and ready to go, and it's a lot less set time. Plus, there won't be a lot of pressure on this handle. I mean, she's 18 months old, so no big deal there. So what I did was I put a good amount on, put one side, used the clamps. It doesn't need a whole lot of pressure. Then as that one set for a minute, I did one side of this and got it. Then I did the next side, took the clamps off, put it on here, same thing. And I tried to get, this is the inside, which is a lot harder to get to than the outside. So what I did was I got it as close as possible there, because I'll have to use a stick with 120 and 220 grit to get it even right up in there. The belt sander is just too big for that, so we don't want to get too close and mess up the blade itself. So they're held together now. Now I'm going to take it to the belt sander and get down as much as right through here. Well, from about here over and there, you can see the overlap. And then once I'm done with that, I'll show you that. We will drill the holes for these pins, decide where to put them. I'm thinking probably right about there and right about there. But we'll drill those, and then we are going to cover it with linseed oil. Okay, so I used the drill. I drilled the holes, and I cut the brass pins, and I've inserted them. So you can see those in there. Now I am going to sand them down real quick. Now you don't want to do them too long on the sander, because if they get hot, they'll pop right out. Came out real nice. This one. Just do a gentle, and there you have it. Okay, so here's the original knife, a piece of broccoli, and an onion. That's a funky looking onion. All right, and it's just held together with Velcro. So here's one of my knives. It's a little bit wider, which I think is better for her. since she's so small. Here's the other one. I didn't put any kind of points on this, and I rounded off the edges real nice because I don't want her getting hurt at all or hurting anybody. But if I can hold it, there we go. Works like a charm. So now we are going to coat it with linseed oil, which I thought I already had out, but obviously I did not. Alright, and I just have extra little pieces of felt from my Micarta project. I'm going to use that. That's just linseed oil and a little bit of paint thinner. So I'll put 2 good coats and see how beautiful that comes out. I mean, this is maple. It was maple flooring. And you'll want to do several coats of this. Sometimes this maple just sucks up the oil, and then you'd have to come back. It would leave dry spots. So do several good coats. Let it sit for a couple minutes. Yep, I thought that was cherry, and that's what that is. She's only 18 months, but she'll be like, oh, new toy. And I will have made her something personal. So that's always nice. Put a decent thick coat. Alright, I set that down. I'll put another coat on, and this time I'll put a nice thick coat, and I'm going to use some steel wool to make sure that it's nice and smooth and there's no chance of her getting hurt or anything. So just a little bit of steel wool. A nice circular motion, plus that helps it get into the wood. Look how beautiful that is. I almost wish I had left it just that, but she needs a handle on this thing. Okay, let that sit. I'll put some more on here. Look at the color just really pop on that. And I did the bevel only on one side because, well, she doesn't need it on both sides. Let me get a rag. Make sure you wipe off the excess. Oh, that's nice and smooth. There's no edges to it. The pins make it look awesome. Now this one is the Babinga and Maple. The handle is Babinga, which came out wonderful. There. Whoop. There we go. That's just lovely. And you can see the edge, the way that goes. And I didn't make it sharp at all because, well, she's a kid. So there's that. Get that off. I actually thought that Babinga would come out a lot better, but I think I like the cherry of the two. See, I wiped it and the oil's still coming up a little bit. There we go. This is Nate. I hope you liked the video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. You have a good one.